Hey, good evening everyone. A few updates from Australia. Remember I told you yesterday that like hundreds of thousands of people lost their jobs because the government shut down pubs and cinemas and clubs and most restaurants unless they could offer a takeout service. So yesterday all these people went online to the MyGov website to try to access their unemployment benefits, and it crashed the server. So nobody could get on to do anything. And apparently it takes up to 100,000 simultaneous connections. So the government increased the bandwidth, whoever they did that, to be able to allow 150,000 people to connect. And it crashed again this morning. They put a lot of people out of work, and then they wonder why the website can't cope. And all these people try to access unemployment benefits so they can get access to money to buy food and things. So the government have created a major problem here, and it gets worse because a lot of people in the state of Victoria now are now facing eviction. So you're talking about maybe hundreds of thousands of people also losing a roof over their head, and that's the last thing you want when there's a pandemic. So really bad times for Australia. Some weirder news. Some prisoners might be released because you don't want an outbreak in prisons at this time. Prisons are pretty well chock full, and a few less prisoners will make social distancing a lot easier and make it less likely for the virus to spread should it get in a prison. Obviously, if you've murdered 20 people, you're not going to be first on the list to be released. Probably for minor crimes. Those people will have first consideration to be released back into the community. Job seekers in Australia normally have to apply, fulfill certain conditions before they are allowed to get access to the unemployment benefits, like applying for a certain number of jobs, going to courses. That's all now been waived. They don't have to do that for the immediate future. Obviously, because there's a lot less jobs out there now, and you don't want 30 people in a room doing an employment how to get a job course, because that's not really practicing social distancing, even though that still goes on in schools today. Some not so good news. Well, not that any of it is good news, but this is particularly bad. Funerals. If you're having a funeral, you can't have more than 10 people attend. If you're having a wedding, maximum 5 people. So obviously the government doesn't want anybody having a funeral or a wedding at the moment. It's I think it's really sad, man. If somebody dies, you want to go to their funeral, or most people would, and say, oh sorry, only 5 people can come. I don't think that's really acceptable. I think that is the government just just taking things a step too far. Anyway, overseas to the United Kingdom, Boris Johnson has shut down virtually everything. People have to stay in their homes. They can only go out to go to the supermarket or the chemist, or to go for, I think you're allowed to go for exercise once a day, but only by yourself or with your family, nothing more. And so a lot has happened. I think Australia now up to 2,000 cases now. So I just wonder if they're going to bring in more restrictions soon, if they don't flatten the curve, so to speak. So I'll catch up with you tomorrow with some more news. Take care and God bless.